Okay, so if you're looking for the best smartphone under rupees 15,000, there are quite a handful of options out there. However, the two phones that I personally feel stand out are, well, the famous Redmi Note 8 Pro and the evergreen Poco F1. Now, I know that's an interesting choice over there, but yeah, I know a lot of you guys do prefer either of the phones for different reasons. That said, for a newcomer, if you have a budget of just 15,000, what's the best phone to buy? Should you go with the Redmi Note 8 Pro or should you invest in a older Poco F1? Well, let's find out. This is Varun from Guiding Tech, and today I'll be putting the Note 8 Pro in test with the Poco F1 to see which phone makes for a better choice for you guys under 15,000 in 2020. Also, I suggest you guys stay tuned till the end of this video because there's a lot to talk about, and whether you should go with the Note 8 Pro or the Poco F1, that will solely depend on which phone you can relate to more. Well, let's get started. Now, separated by an exact 1 year of launch, the Poco F1 definitely looks quite dated thanks to its plastic build and a massive notch that reminds you of the modern iPhones. But yeah, it looks dated. Now, in comparison, the Note 8 Pro obviously looks much more modern. It comes with a premium glass build and has a water drop notch at the top. Now, it also comes with a bigger display that I'll be talking about more in the display section, but right now it obviously makes it look as a better option as compared to the Poco F1. Now, it's not like the plastic build on the Poco F1 is bad. I mean, it protects you against falls and everything, something that glass will definitely shatter. Now, it also makes the device quite lightweight, and for my usage, I think this is a better suited phone for 100 usage and just using it every day for an extended period of time as compared to the Note 8 Pro. See, in terms of pure ergonomics, while the Redmi Note 8 Pro is good, the Poco F1 definitely feels much better. So yeah, personally, I'd pick the Poco F1. And basically anyone out there who wants to buy a device not for its flaunt value and does not want to protect it using a case, the Poco F1 definitely feels like a better buy, at least in terms of design. Now let's talk about the display. Okay, so there's a sizable difference in terms of displays on both the devices, and the tiny water drop notch and a bigger display definitely make the Note 8 Pro better in this segment. Now, it's not like the Poco F1 is bad, but yeah, the Redmi Note 8 Pro definitely looks better, offers more real estate, and yeah, in terms of displays, I would definitely pick this one up. Now, speaking about things that are common, both the displays here are IPS LCD displays, which are good, but you do miss out on Super AMOLED displays that are offered by other brands in this price segment. So yeah, content consumption is one thing that won't be that great on either of devices. Now, speaking of content consumption, there's one more thing that I would like to point out. The Poco F1 was launched with Widevine L3 certification, but it received a couple of security updates and patches and software updates and blah blah blah. But basically it is now Widevine L1 certified. On the other hand, the Note 8 Pro, it comes with a Widevine L1 certification, but for some reason apps like Netflix and Prime Video do not detect that. So you cannot play videos in full resolution on your Note 8 Pro, which is a bummer. Now, considering that Poco did receive updates to fix this issue, I can expect the same to be announced for the Note 8 Pro, but the thing is, there hasn't been a timeline for it and Xiaomi hasn't publicly acknowledged this. So yeah, you'll have to wait for it. Till how long is something I don't have an answer for. So yeah, other than that, both the displays are really good, and it basically boils down to choosing from a water drop notch to a full-size notch. Now, the full-size notch does offer a more secure and faster face unlock that works quite well even in low light conditions. So if you fancy that, the Poco F1 is better, but for me, I can very well use the fingerprint scanner at the back, and yeah, I would definitely pick the water drop notch. So for me, in terms of display, the Note 8 Pro clearly stands out as the winner. Okay, so now we move on towards software, and both the devices come from the house of Xiaomi but are different brands that are owned by Xiaomi. So there's Redmi and Poco. Now that makes a lot of difference because the thing is, the Redmi Note 8 Pro is plagued by ads. Now they both run MIUI 11 based on Android 9 Pie, but the ads on this are super annoying. That said, the Poco F1 has two clear advantages, one of which is definitely that it has zero ads, which is great. There's also the Poco launcher, which is definitely better than MIUI launcher, but that's not the point that I'm getting at. The biggest advantage, at least for me and maybe a little bit of users out there, is that this has a super massive modding community out there. I mean, I'm talking about forums that are filled up to 10 pages, and they have so many ROMs with so many customizations, so many features, that the Poco F1 is definitely a budget Nexus device at this point of time. Now, I want to say something about the Note 8 Pro, but I really can't, because this has a MediaTek chipset, and if you just open any forum website, basically XDA, and if you open that, there is literally nothing for the Note 8 Pro. It sucks, and what sucks more is that there will be no development for it. So yeah, if you're into modding and everything, this is definitely a no-buy. Like, you really can't go with this for software. It has a plagued MIUI 11 and there is no modding community out there. So yeah. Now, one thing that I do have to point out is that since the Note 8 Pro is a more newer device, I can say that MIUI 11 based on Android 10 should be coming. However, I'm not so sure about Poco. So, I mean, yeah, if you're gonna stick with MIUI 11, there's a possibility that the Note 8 Pro will offer you more features in the long run, obviously. But for now, Poco F1 definitely feels better because it has the same MIUI 11 without the ads, and if you're into modding, there's a better package over here. Now, in terms of camera performance, it's a weird story, so hang on for the ride. So in terms of spec sheet, the Note 8 Pro not only offers double the camera sensors, but also comes with a whopping 64 megapixel sensor as compared to a 12 megapixel on the Poco F1. And the results kind of show that in normal conditions. So in daylight conditions, the Note 8 Pro definitely offers better performance across the table. The 5 megapixel depth sensor on the F1 does make its edge detection a tad bit better, but mostly that's about it. For the average Joe, the Note 8 Pro would be an easier pick. Now, while the Poco F1 does give some amount of competition in terms of daylight photography, when it comes to nightlife, this thing absolutely crushes the Poco F1. There's a lot of noise in Poco's images and the results are borderline useless, especially when put against the Note 8 Pro. So yeah, for the average person out there, the Note 8 Pro stands out as a clear winner so far. But I am not an average person. I like to mod my devices, and for that very specific reason, the Poco F1 has some clear advantages. See, the GCam modding library out here for this is amazing. There are so many mods out there with so many configuration profiles, and it's actually a hard time choosing the best mod out there. So while I'll have a download link to one of the most stable mods that I've found, the results are basically crushing the Note 8 Pro. Now, you would say that the Note 8 Pro should also have GCam, and while it does, it's a MediaTek chipset. And it's one of the rare times that I'm actually seeing a MediaTek device come with GCam. But yeah, the results are not that good, and the GCam port in itself is super unstable. Like, I'm talking about 5 seconds of shutter lag, so it's not that good. And basically, in terms of pure GCam performance, the Poco F1 stands out as a clear winner. Now, although I'm stressing that I am a modder, the thing is that it comes with Camera 2 API enabled right out of the box, so anyone can install it. You just have to go down to the download link mentioned in this video and download it or install it on your device. If you want, load up a configuration file. That's basically an XML file if you want. But even if you don't, the results will be great right out of the box, which is something that I value a lot because I don't use the other sensors that are on offer on the Note 8 Pro. For me, the primary sensor makes or breaks a phone, and for me the Poco F1 with GCam is a definite better choice than the Note 8 Pro. Now, in terms of selfies, both the devices come with a 20 megapixel selfie shooter, which is great on spec sheet, but the results vary quite a lot thanks to both the devices doing a different sort of post-processing. The Note 8 Pro does a slightly better job, especially in terms of details. That said, there is a slight amount of noise in certain regions. Now, the Poco F1 tries to eliminate it by softening the image, but it happens throughout, so the end result is not to my liking. Lastly, in terms of videos, both the devices perform equally good. However, one thing that makes the Poco F1 better is that it supports 4K recording up to 60 FPS, while the Note 8 Pro caps out at 30. Other than that, the results produced are decent, and both the devices come with EIS on the 1080p mode to offer stabilized footage. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that for the average person who does not want to install a lot of mods and just want to use the device as it is, the Note 8 Pro is definitely the right pick. You don't have to install anything extra on it, and it works right out of the box. That said, if you're someone like me who just relies on the primary sensor and wants a lot of modding on the device, the Poco F1, in terms of camera obviously right now, is a better option. Now there's a huge library of GCam out there, and the thing is the results produced on here are as good as phones that are priced, well, at the same price tag at which the Poco F1 was initially launched. So yeah, that's a really good thing to say. Okay, so let's talk about the main thing why Poco F1 is an option in this list, which is the performance aspect. Now, it comes with a dated 845 processor, but it still kicks the Helio G90T on the Note 8 Pro out of the park. Like, the faster processor combined with UFS 2.1 storage makes for better app launch times and overall better day-to-day performance. Now, I'm not saying that the Note 8 Pro is bad, it's really good. But when you put it against the Poco F1, this thing looks really slow, which is great for Poco F1 users, obviously. Now, in terms of gaming, the Helio G90T is made for gaming, and 845 in itself is a flagship grade processor, so both the devices run games at the highest settings possible. Now, what makes the difference here is that while this can run games at the highest settings possible, it does so for about 1.5 hours, after which it begins to throttle because of the rising temperature and various other technical reasons. That said, the Poco F1 can last all day long, till the time the battery lasts, which brings us to the battery segment. Now, in terms of battery, the Poco F1 comes with 4000 mAh of battery, while the Note 8 Pro comes with 500 mAh extra. Now, there's support for 18 watt fast charging on both the devices, and the best thing is that both the devices come with those fast chargers inside the box. Now, in terms of battery life, the Note 8 Pro and the Poco F1 should last you an entire day. The only difference that I feel here is that the Note 8 Pro can be used for overnight usage as well, whereas the Poco F1, well, you'll have to plug it in at night when you reach the home at the end of the day. So yeah, that's the only difference as a user you should be concerned about. But other than that, in terms of battery, there's not a lot separating the two. So which phone is the better buy for you? Well, it all boils down to what kind of a person you are. See, if you're someone like me who likes to mod the devices and install a lot of custom apps, custom ROMs and tinker around with it, the Poco F1 is definitely a better buy. Now, I know I've said it a lot of times throughout this video, but the thing is the Poco F1, despite its dated processor, offers flagship level performance, and yeah, I just rely on the primary sensor more, so with GCam on here, it really makes a lot of difference, and I can easily use this phone anywhere I want. And the only issue that I have with the phone right now is that massive notch. That is literally the only issue that I have. I don't really mind the plastic build. It feels like a normal phone that has a plastic cover on it. So yeah, it's not a big issue for me. It's just that notch that I don't really like. So yeah, if you ask me, I can easily use this phone every day. Just the notch is kind of an issue for me. That said, a lot of you guys out there would definitely pick the Note 8 Pro, and there's nothing wrong with that. See, it's a modern phone and it has a premium finish, you can easily flaunt it, and for most users out there, for everyone out there, the out-of-the-box performance of this device is really good. And the thing is, in this price segment, I don't think a lot of you guys would want to tinker around with the phone. So yeah, the Note 8 Pro definitely makes for a good buy for those kind of people. Well, that was it. Now, if you'd like to see a different kind of comparison with the Poco F1 or with the Note 8 Pro, shout off in the comments below. We also have another video coming up of the best phones to buy under Rs 15,000, which these two are obviously some of the options, but there are a lot more options as well. So make sure you're subscribed and notified to our channel for the same. This is Varun from Guiding Tech, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.